Now here back in Israel, a Tel Aviv nonprofit that is supporting at-risk kids through second-hand for second chance pop-up shops. The group is called Ani Shlishi, and they organize donated items from soldiers, citizens, and clothing stores as well. The money that they raise goes to help buy school supplies for at-risk kids and also to fund scholarships for talented but low-income students who may not otherwise be able to afford and extend their educational opportunities. To talk more about this nonprofit and its interesting backstory, I'm joined by the CEO, David Baskin. Thanks so much for being with us. First, let's talk a little bit about the name, Ani Shlishi. It's a Hebrew phrase that translates to "I'm third."
Exactly.
What's that about?
So the name I'm Third, Ani Shlishi, it was inspired by a person who was deeply important and impactful to me in my life. His name was Ross Freeland. He was a coach, a friend, a mentor. In high school, he was actually my baseball coach. And he lived very quietly but sincerely by a creed of first comes the greater good, others come second, and then I'm third. And it's a concept of selflessness and generosity and understanding when you have responsibility to your fellow person and being a giving and generous person.
So, Ani Shlishi, it's the origins of this really started with the IDF. It started as a way for lone soldiers who were serving in Israel's army without much of a family or support network here to really help them out, and then it expanded really now into something much greater. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So the growth and development of this organization has been really fun to be a part of, and it's been very organic. It began, exactly as you said, as with the simple realization that when lone soldiers come here and they get released from the army, they've accumulated a significant amount of things that they no longer need. And over 1/5 of the population of this country is in poverty. And it was a very simple connection to make to bring these things to these people that were in poverty. And then as word spread and more people began donating, and it wasn't just lone soldiers that were donating, and then became stores, we decided to increase our impact further by opening the Second Hand for a Second Chance sales branch, which began just with pop-up stores anywhere that would have us, bars, restaurants, universities, just attempting to create as much capital as we possibly could to provide opportunities for people that really are in desperate help.
So what are you doing now on the ground? I mean, what's the next phase in the growth, especially here in Tel Aviv, where you have tens of thousands of people living, in need of help and don't know where their next meal is coming from or to stay warm with the winter? How do you grow?
So we are currently making the transition from pop-up shops to permanent locations. And our first one is actually at Shuka Carmel. We have our first permanent location there. And the goal is to increase this further with brick-and-mortar stores that will have a very local feel and impact, in which the funds will be funneled into the communities in which these stores reside.
Are there other kind of, consignment or thrift stores that donate money to help the low-income families, or is it a need really in Tel Aviv that doesn't exist to serve these communities?
Absolutely, no, not so much.
Really?
The vast majority of consignment stores are for-profit, and this is sort of where we're different. Is that the service that we provide is at a different level than what these for-profit companies can.
So if people want to find out more about the company, to help out or to make a donation, how do people find out more about Ani Shlishi?
They can go to our website at anishlishi.org, and every donation, whether it's clothing or dollars, it all goes to a great cause.
I mean, you're helping a lot of families, especially here in Tel Aviv, where the need is so great. What is the biggest need? I mean, people may not realize around the world like how cold it gets in Tel Aviv. In the winter. I mean, is it food? Is it clothing? Or is it school supplies directly? What do people need?
It's all of those things, and they provide a different service. Clothing and food are a very immediate need for people, whereas the most direct impact on breaking the poverty cycle is in access to education, which is why we've made such an effort to help these people that have made a choice to better themselves and have so much inertia going against them to make that happen. They put themselves in a position where we're able to provide them with this opportunity.
All right, David Baskin, the CEO, Ani Shlishi, I am Third. Thanks so much for explaining the origins of this very important work you're doing. Thank you so much for being part of Daily Dose today.
Thank you.
All right.